What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pendergast podcast on this beautiful Friday afternoon, or it might be evening, wherever you're listening from. But thank you guys so much. And listen, it's an absolute honor today to sit down with my friend and the legend, Talan Hansen. But before we get into his story, this episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today through my buddy Seth Starnes. He's a guy that, man, he has his own suspension company too, so he does suspension. It's called Next Level Suspension. He's been road racing forever, does a lot of track days. He understands what it takes to stay in the sport because it's super expensive, right? And dude, knowing your finances and all that, nobody likes to talk about financial stuff. Let's just be honest, right? And Talon's laughing. He's like, yeah. Nobody does. But
Mm-mm.
listen, it's part of life, right? And the further you are ahead and the more you understand it, the better off you're going to be. So go to Next Level Financial and have a chat with Seth. And Talon, it's not so in dirt bike racing, it's not like this, but as far as road racing and track days, right? We have a
Mhm.
full custom suit. Well, I'm not gonna say most of us, some people don't have a full custom suit. Well, my point is go to bisontrack.com. I am an ambassador for Bison. I got the chest protector, I got the gloves, I got the undersuit, the whole nine, right? They are absolutely amazing. People, it's 2025. Love yourself, treat yourself. You deserve everybody listening, not Talon. They don't have custom suits, but everybody else listening and watching, listen, treat yourself. Get that full custom suit. It is tailored, measured specifically for you. Trust me, it makes a world of a difference. Again, bisontrack.com, people. Let's go. Talon, brother, welcome to the show, bro.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's an honor.
Dude, listen, the honor is absolutely all mine. And going back with what I was just talking about, the full custom suit, right? The reason why it's a big deal is as far as road racing goes. You got a suit that's too big, you're tucked in, it acts like a parachute, it's loose, it's blowing everywhere. It's especially when you go down, it's not good, right?
Right.
Because the suit rolls and you got cherries all over it, and you're looking like, how did all this happen, right? Versus a suit's not going to fit you 100% correctly in your entire body anyway, an off the rack suit, right? So
Right.
if it's too tight in your arms as you're going, right, it causes arm pump, man, just all kinds of issues. So
Yep.
yeah, but on your side of things, you don't have those issues. You got the fly pants and the Alpine Star pants and the neck protector, and you guys actually now are in air vest.
Yeah, that's prototype stuff right now, but that's coming out pretty soon.
I think it's great. I always wondered why some of the stuff in road racing they didn't have in on the dirt side of things as far
Hmm.
as an air vest, right? I mean, you
Right.
guys are absolutely, we call you guys nuts. You guys call us nuts. We're like, no, we're not doing the triples, and we'll look it up like, oh my God, there goes Superman. We don't we prefer to stay right here on the ground.
Yeah, but you guys are insane though because no one wants to go 200 miles an hour on two wheels. That's just insane.
Oh, come on now.
Uh-uh.
Bro, okay, listen. There's a yin and a yang to everything, right? And I
Uh-huh.
love the dirt, man. And I remember my first proper dirt bike track I went to, and I was talking trash. Yeah, I'm gonna hit all these jumps. I'm gonna do that. And I seen the real first triple. I was like, yeah, all that trash I talked. I'm not doing any of that. Absolutely not. Yeah, call me what you will. I'm right here. I'm gonna ride on the
Hmm.
outside and I guess be safe, right? So you guys are the I don't want to say lunatics because we're all um in love with motorcycles and give it all. And whether you're flying 80 feet in the air like Talon or you're doing 200 miles an hour down a straightaway like the rest of us, it's all for the same thing, right? It's all for the same love of the sport.
Absolutely.
So listen, Talon, man, we got a lot to talk about. It's our first introductory podcast. Again, it's an honor to have you on, man. Let's just get into it, bro. Where did your journey start?
Um, boy, I mean I guess it kind of started even when I was a kid. Um, my parents basically I had a dirt bike in my room. Uh, was my father's, but my father had a dirt bike in the room, and then they would always play Crusty Demons of Dirt was the thing back in the day. They would just play that. I just watched it on repeat as a kid. So yeah, it's kind of where it all started. And then by the time I started remembering everything, watching Supercross with McGrath and Rocco and Carmichael and all of them. Um, yeah, I always just wanted to be a professional racer. So that was always my goal. And by the time I was 5, I got a bike. and my number was number 5 because Michael Rocco was my hero at the time. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, it's always, I say it all the time because everybody's journey into two wheels, whether it's dirt, street, flat track, ice racing, anything on twos, right?
Mhm.
It all starts from the same root, just like a tree, right? Which is dad, mom, and son, La, 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 can't even talk right now, son or daughter.
Right.
And then from there, it branches off. Many branches come off, right? So you can go ice, road racing, dirt, flat track, or a mix of both. But everybody seems to end up on one side of the spectrum or the other as far as that goes. Road racing, dirt bike racing, freestyle now, right? Which
Yep.
you talked about earlier. So Crusting Demons of Dirt, which is absolutely amazing to watch. And I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
when they were doing it. You're like, I remember. I got a question for you. Already off the jump, who's the first professional dirt bike to do a backflip?
Mike Metzger? Or
Corey
no,
Hart.
it's Car sorry, yeah,
Yep.
Carey Hart.
Yes, yes. I said Corey. Carey Hart. Yes, you're
Yeah, it was
right.
Carey. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I thought I knew it was between 2 of them. But
Yep.
yeah.
Dude, I still have that poster of his first backflip downstairs in the base. I got so many posters I could probably fill up 5 houses. No lie. So, uh, yeah, it's. I remember that, man. Growing up, even though watching road racing, then obviously I'm still fascinated with the whole dirt bike scene.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun. It teaches you so much. Everybody says it's a dangerous sport, but I guess that's just the way you look at things. I don't consider it dangerous. I just don't want to jump 80 feet in the air. That's all, right? Unless I have a parachute on. Um, but yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is yeah, growing up watching, dude, McGrath is a legend. Everybody you just named is an absolute legend. There's certain people that come in the sport and they elevate the game,
Right.
right? And then somebody else comes behind them and they elevate it even more. So everybody you just said, Mike Mexter, he was the dude back then,
Yep. Yep.
and then TP come around, Travis Pastrana, um, and
Deegan.
kind of at Deegan,
Yep.
dude, Ricky Carmichael, dude, Bubba Stewart was my dude, right? I liked his
Mhm.
aura and the way he did things which was different,
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, Talon, back to you. So you grew up, you get your first dirt bike, and then did you obviously rode around, and then about what age was it when you was like, you know what, I want to go race some dirt bikes.
So I did one race when I was 5,
I love it.
and then
On
it
a little
was
PW.
PW50, yep. Yeah, it was I'll never forget it. It rained all morning, and somehow the races still went. I didn't know where we were going. We loaded up. We had a car and then just a snowmobile trailer. So they just loaded up and went. And yeah, it was muddy. Barely got around the track. But yeah, I remember bits and pieces of that night. It was at Lake Geneva Raceway, which they did everything then. They had an oval track for stock cars and then go-karts and motocross. So it was a pretty big venue. And yeah, so I remember racing there. It was muddy, and that was the first time I rode around a track. And I just remember when you're a kid, everything's just so big. I was like, dude, these jumps are ginormous. So yeah, I got around. I had a little kickstand on that thing, or those PWs have little kickstands,
Yep.
and we had to take it off because I was getting stuck in the whoops and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I can't remember how I did that night. I don't think I did. I think I got like ninth or whatever. And um, so then after that, I didn't race again until I was 6 the year after, again at Lake Geneva. And then my next race didn't come until I think I was 12. So yeah, and I was like, I think I was in 7th grade. I didn't really get to ride too much when I was a kid. It just wasn't in the means at the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of my childhood was basically just ride once a year and that was it. So yeah, that's kind of where it all began as far as racing as a kid. And then after 8th grade is when I started racing pretty normally.
And then that whole time, that one time a year you did get to ride, it's all you thought about is the next time you get to ride, right? You're like, dude, I just
Oh
want to
yeah.
ride. I just want to ride. I don't want to
Yep.
play with GI Joes and Legos no more, Daddy. Let's
Nope.
go ride. Yeah, let's go ride. Forget that. It's yeah, man. Me growing up, I grew up in the military, so we moved all the time. My dad was gone usually 8, 9 months out of the year because he
Hmm.
was a fighter pilot in the Navy. He had a bike. He used to take me riding with his buddies when they all come in. And then, yeah, obviously I wanted a dirt bike. We actually went to go look at one, and my mom was, dude, she threw a fit. So obviously I didn't get one. But I grew up, every base I went to, I found kids that had dirt bikes, and that's who I sought after to be friends with, right? Because if I was friends with them, they got a dirt bike. Maybe they'll let me ride their dirt bike, right?
Right.
So yeah, man, it's understand because I remember it didn't happen all the time. Like
Yep.
you, it would be a couple times a year, right? But I never ever forgot it, and that's all I talked about. That's all I asked for my birthday. That's all I ever asked for Christmas. I'm like, I don't
Hmm.
want anything else. I just want a dirt bike.
Yep.
I don't care what it is, you know. And then so my dad buys me a go kart, which did it scratch the itch? Maybe initially for like the first day or two,
Yep.
and then I'm like, I want a dirt bike. Why'd you buy me a go kart? I want a dirt bike. You know, let's
Right.
go. Like, can we trade this in and get me a dirt bike? So, yeah, man. But the love, man, in the whole, it just it's hard to explain to people, man. Once you get that bug, that's it. It don't nothing else matters. No cartoons, no nothing.
Yep.
Um, and I was always an outside kid. I didn't stay inside a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, and I didn't. I grew up playing basketball and soccer. Those were my two sports growing up. I wasn't really into football. So, but yeah. So anyway, eighth grade comes, and you're like, let's go back racing.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's yeah. It's kind of when it all started. I guess he was racing the C class, which is like the beginner class or novice class. So I was racing that. I was doing just uh there's a track in Illinois called Megacross, but it's in Mendota, Illinois. It's like a night track. So every other weekend they just do races. So that's pretty much all I did. And then I would ride. We would do that on Saturday night and then go home, which is 2.5 hours away, and then just to come back 2 hours again. We would sleep for 2 hours and get back up, go to the track by Megacross. But eventually, we just ended up sleeping in the truck. It just was a smarter idea, but yeah, yeah, we basically were hit the ground running in eighth grade. Um, After eighth grade, there we had the indoor dirt. My dad got involved with an indoor track. He opened up an indoor track in Wisconsin. From there, I rode like 5 days a week. That's when it really opened up. So that's when the floodgates really opened, and I started making some decent progress. And then, I had friends growing up. I used to go to snowcross races all the time, and they were, chasing the dream. And that just one day, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. That's what I want to do for sure. I'm gonna chase it. So like every day from the time I was in ninth grade to I did my first pro race when I was 17 in high school. Um, yeah, so from 14 to 17, I just dedicated my life towards racing. I would get up super early, go for a jog before school, go to the gym, and then in the summertime it was just full time. It was get up, go to the gym, run. My buddies rode, so we would ride 2 to 3 days a week. We just go ride in a field, just something.
Yeah,
So yeah, that whole age from 14 to 17 was just a wild journey. It really just yeah, it just a lot of progression super quick.
yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Though there's nothing like seat time, and
Right.
nothing can replace it. You know,
Mhm.
it the whole journey is awesome. Getting in the morning, looking forward to getting up, doing your exercise and going for a run, getting on the bike, cleaning the gear, which is a big part of it. Come home, you're all super muddy. You got to wash your boots and the
Yep.
bike and yada, yada, yada. That never gets old. At least to me, it still never gets old, right? There's sometimes like, maybe I'll do it later. And I'm like, nope, I know if I don't do it now, it's not going to get done. So let's just go ahead and do it, right? I think
Yep.
we're all like that in a certain type of way, especially
Yep.
when you were. I remember my first time I went and really did road enduros in the woods. I was like, man, I got this, dude. Yeah, I'm good for all day. After about the fifth time I done fell off, I literally had to lean my bike against the tree and lean against the tree just to muster enough strength just to kick the freaking bike over. When my buddies are coming by on the electric start KTM's, they're like, "Hey Simcoe, check this out."
Yeah.
Boom, and I'm like, "Forget you guys," right? Like,
Yep. Yeah, I know that I rode that struggle bus for a long time too. A couple of my buddies got KTM's and I was on Kawasaki's, and yeah, it's just, hey, watch this.
yeah,
Click. Now everything
yeah.
has it besides Suzuki.
They'll get there.
They will. They
Yeah,
will
they'll
eventually,
definitely get
hopefully.
there. But yeah, those moments though that I'll always cherish going out there being just so absolutely wore out. Like I could just lay down and take a nap right now. Like I'm out of breath. I done drank all my water. We got 10 miles before we get out of here, right? Like
Mhm.
my heart's pumping through my chest. I'm aggravated. I'm muddy. I'm wet. I'm just done at that
Yep.
certain type of moment, right? But then you don't realize at the time you find somehow where you just dig super deep and you muster up the strength and you kick it over no matter what it takes, or you bump start it. If you're down the hill, you just and yeah, get up out
Oh,
of
yeah.
there. And then you sleep like a baby for like 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. After a good day's riding, you definitely sleep real good.
Yeah, you're like dinner times, you're like, okay, take 3 bites, enough to where my stomach's like stops doing that. Brrr. And I'm like, I'm gonna take a shower, and then as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm done. Whether it's 8, 9 o'clock, I'm out. Sometimes even earlier. So yeah, it's growing up doing that, you also you build valuable skills you don't realize at the time until you start pushing yourself and you get faster and faster and faster, right?
Right. Right.
So absolutely. So going from then to where you are now, tell me that journey. How did all this transpire to the legend you are right now sitting before us?
Oh, man. Yeah, so by the time I hit A class, I moved myself up, essentially. I was riding with some guys and I could hang with the A guys, so I was like, I don't know what I don't wanna win B class all the time. Not that I was, but I was winning towards the end of the year quite a bit, and I moved myself up, and dude, from there, it was just those first couple of years were brutal. Just racing even at a local level, it's a real eye opener. So
It's a big slice of humble pie, as we always say in road racing, right?
right.
You go from one class, you're like, yeah, I'm the fastest, I'm in the front of the intermediate class, and then you bump up to the next class. It's a little struggle, but you're swimming with the sharks, and eventually you're running on top, and then you make that expert jump, and all of a
Yep.
sudden you're like, holy shit! Like maybe I should go back down a class, but you don't want to, right? Because
Right.
iron sharpens iron, and that's what pushes you to make you faster, right? So
Correct. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it was. Cause I always grew up racing the stadium tracks or the stadium series, so I was pretty good at that. Um, actually I did AMA Arena Cross. I did a couple of races in 14 and one race in 15. Um, and I was like close to making the shows. Like we're talking like half a tenth, which is a lot, but I was right there. For not practicing, I was pretty close. So, but going outdoors, that's when I started transitioning to wanting to do Canadian nationals. So I always grew up watching Canadian nationals on TV. I just thought it was cool. I was like, dude, these tracks look sick. You know, the riders, Blair Morgan, Dusty Klatt, JSR, all those dudes are legends. I mean, I grew up watching um, Colton Fasciotti. I got to race him, you know, towards before he retired. That was pretty cool. But I grew up watching all those dudes. And I was like, oh, you know what? That'd be cool to go up there and race someday. And I was watching it on TV again, and I was like, dude, why don't just I'm just gonna go up there. It'd be fun to go do it. So that's what I did. 2016, I did 4 rounds. Um, and that was, like I said, another piece of humble pie because that was just a whole new ball game going to a national. Like I didn't make the nationals. The four I did, I didn't make them. They didn't qualify. So it was like, oh man, I got a bunch of work to do. So by 2017, um, I ended up getting to do the full series with a few guys that I met. I was gonna race for this. It was basically it was a team, but it was just a group of guys. We're all gonna go do it. And then the last minute, the guy backed out, like the day before we were supposed to leave. He ended up backing out. He took a couple people's money. I was fortunate to get mine back. But yeah, we ended up getting in the motorhome and going, and um, we went. We did the whole series. I think that year was 10 rounds. So yeah, we started out in British Columbia and we finished in Ontario, Canada. Um, but it took me into the fourth round. That's when I made my first pro national. I qualified right in. So that was just once I got that, it was a big weight off my back. Because then I think back then it was a little harder. There was more. We had like 70 entries, and they only take 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got in after 7. Yeah, my eighth try is when I got in.
But once you, it's just like that in road racing too. Once you make that step, once you finally get on the podium, once you finally qualify to be in the show, it's something mental changes about you, right, in your mind, and you just it. I don't want to say it comes easier. It feels like it comes easier, right? Let's just be honest. Like I'm
Hmm.
not working as hard to make the show now. um I think it's obviously psychological. Let's just be honest, right? The mental road racing, dirt bike racing, motocross racing is such a mental game.
Right.
It really is. But when you, like you just said, takes it took the chip off my shoulder, right? And so the weight of the world felt like you come off your shoulder because now, Talon, for sure I can make the show.
Right.
I'm in the show. I'm in the show, right? And
Exactly.
and yeah, and then dude, so bro, awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, that's it. I keep on telling your story. Canada is I watched Canadian Superbike too. Jake Jordan Zokes was absolutely the man back then. I mean, Miguel Duhamel, always get it backwards. There it is, Miguel Duhamel. He's from, a legend from Canada out here in the road racing world back in the day. Steve Crevier. I mean, dude, I can go on to um, never been. Always wanted to go to Canada. So you
Oh,
going
really?
out there, yeah, dude. I've never been. I always wanted to go.
Oh,
One
yeah.
day I will.
Yeah, you'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a guy that does he does video for the Super Canadian Superbikes,
Hmm.
and yeah, I see his videos all the time. It looks pretty sweet.
Oh, dude, yeah, they're awesome, right?
Yeah.
So going out there now, you make your first show.
Yep.
What happens after that?
Oh man. Yeah, it was just so yeah, I made my first show and then I just remember doing the sight lap before the first gate drop. I was like, holy crap, this is cool. It's like finally in it. So yeah, I ended up doing that. And yeah, like first moto, I think I went 34, 32 on the day, which I was stoked at the time. I was like, dude, heck yeah, I'm in. I don't even care. I made the show. That's all that
That's it.
matters. So yeah,
You see my name on this list? I
yeah.
made the show, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that was the best part is like I qualified 39th, and at that time they only took 38 directly, and then the rest went to an LCQ. So I'm like, frick. So yeah, I just went out first, just rode as hard as I could, and I ended up winning it. So that was just the best feeling. I had to go back to the board just to make sure I knew I was in because I didn't believe it. So I was yeah. Once I saw I was in, yeah, I was stoked. So yeah, doing that parade lap and then doing the first few laps was I don't know. It was just insane. Yeah, can't even put it into words. It was so cool. So I ended up getting through that day, and like I said, I was just stoked. So yeah, from there, because that was in Saskatchewan, still on the western side, and then after that, it was like a 2 or 3 week break, and then you go east. So yeah, we went east, and then a couple of rounds I struggled a little bit. Um, like the next round, I had an electrical problem with my bike, so I didn't make the show. And then the week after that, I was super close, didn't make it. And then after that was in Halifax, or no, it was in Truro, Nova Scotia. Um, I can't remember how I went there. It was like 37, 31. Made the show there, and then the weekend after was at Riverglade in Moncton, New Brunswick, and I just remember going down. The first few laps were pretty good. I was making some passes, and then my bike just made a noise. And I heard it before. And it ended up being a cracked valve bucket. But I had done it before, so I knew right then and there. I was like, "Oh no, she's gonna blow." So the weekend after, I'm like, "Well, do I fix it or what's going on?" Well, I ended up getting a 450, so I moved to the 450 class because I was in the 250 class, and it was a horrible way to break in a new bike. Brand new off showroom floor. It was a mud race. It rained like 2 inches. So it's sand. So it ended up being pretty good towards the end of the day, but it was just riding in quicksand basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just remember doing one lap of qualifying. It was good enough to be in. So I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. And that's how basically I went from 250s right away to 450s. And yeah, I didn't look back until this year. I'm gonna be back on 250s. Um but yeah, I ended up that day was pretty good. We ended up like I got a decent start and a lot of people went down. So I think I was around 12th, like the first half a lap. And some guy in front of me stuffed it in a corner. I'll never forget. I was like, don't do that. Well, I did it. And I just went down and I was all the way back there. And then I ended up DNFing because my some sand got in my chain and it was literally you couldn't move the bike. It locked up. I we ended up getting it. Some guy came because we're in Quebec, so not a lot of people speak English. So he's speaking French and he poked a hole in his water bottle, ended up spraying the chain down, and we ended up breaking it free. And then the next moto was I got a really good start. I actually thought I was gonna pull the whole shot, and I didn't. I ended up coming out like 16th. So yeah, and it was a decent moto. I think I ended up 29th. So I was stoked. I was like, all right, that's finished right there. And the week after that was the last round, and I struggled with that one. But yeah, that pretty much recapped 17. So we went into 2018 was new promoters, with the Triple Crown. So it was going to be Arena Cross, Supercross, and Motocross
And all this is again out there in Canada.
in Canada. Yep. So like then it was like, oh man, we're getting Supercross and Arena Cross, which is sweet. I like the indoor stuff. So we ended up, or I was going to do the full season again, and I went to a race in December, just a local race, and the last race of the day. I got a good start, but I got involved. So 2 guys next to me ended up, locking handlebars, went straight into me. I snapped my leg in half.
Mm.
Yeah, so that all of 2017 or 2018, I ended up missing arena cross, which I was pretty upset about. But yeah, like all of 2018 was almost a write off. I did 5 rounds, and I was just my knee was not up to par. Anytime I dabbed it on the ground, it was just excruciating pain. So it took a until the end of the series about to um not hurt. So yeah, that was pretty much 2018. I got to do Supercross. I did. I got 12th in that in the 250 class in the main event, so I was stoked. And the week after, I ended up getting a ride with the guy, Team Carey. He supplied me a 250. And the last lap of practice, it was like the second to last round in Quebec City. The last lap of practice, I snapped my ankle. Yeah, so then that was a wrap on the season. So I was just like, dude, I was so close to getting a national number that year. I was really looking forward to getting a national number because that was a goal of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I missed it by a couple points, and yeah, and then again, going to the off season, I was hurt, so I had pretty much had to race my way into shape all through 2019. So
And then 2020 hit, right?
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
2019 was a killer year. I did the full season, like I was flying in and out of races. The team I did ride for, like we had a semi and everything, so it was, dude, they
Legit.
treated me,
Yeah.
yeah, they treated me really well, and I ended up getting a national number that year, so I was stoked. So 2020 hit, and I was 2 days, or the day I was supposed to leave, because I was able to go to Canada. Because at the time you had to be, what was the word? You have to be, um, basically, if a company needed you, and you're a necessity, I guess what it was, then you could go. And I was able to go, and the team I was racing for, they backed out last minute because that COVID, COVID, they were freaking out. They're like, "Oh, we don't want anybody from America coming bringing it up here," and yada yada yada. So I ended up
Yeah,
not going for 2 years.
yeah,
So
yeah. That I don't even want to get in the whole COVID
no.
scam thing. But anyway, yeah, it, let me ask you this. When you during the off season,
Mhm.
obviously you train by working out with running and cycling and all that, yeah, and
Right.
obviously you train a lot on the dirt too as well. Hi, Mama. Hi. Thank you for my pot roast. You're welcome. Appreciate it. I know. Mwah. I love you. Love you too. Just stick it in the refrigerator for me. I will. Awesome. Uh-oh. That's okay. She can come in here. Okay. She'll probably follow you out, to be honest with you. I know. Because she chews on my freaking shoes. You see the hole in my shoe? Yes, I do. She's a little shithead. No. My puppy. She's wide open. Yes, that's mine. You gotta be scared, Fiona, to stop jumping. That's all you gotta do. See? We have a thing that if she jumps on me, we have this thing. Yeah, you beaver. Uh huh. And she's waiting on you. All right, let's go. Is Rossi with mommy? No, Rossi's at school. Oh, today's Friday. Yeah. Oh, okay. Stop. No. She wants the pot roast. Uh huh. You want me to shut the door? Yes, please. Okay. Thanks, Mama. You want her in here? No, she'll follow you. She's all right. Moms, you gotta love them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, so yeah, going back to what I was saying, training. Yeah. So how often do you train during the off season? And how long for, because I do flat track and road racing mostly, right? So what's your full season like months wise? And then how long do you have during the off season to train?
Like the last couple of years, I mean, I didn't. There's like this. I'm going on 7 months not riding right now. Like, so like last year, I was sponsored by a dealership. Great guys. Um, I had to get the bike back in September, but I didn't. I stopped riding in end of August. So yeah, I pretty much just been wide open between working. I think I took a couple months off of training just to kind of regroup and get ready for this year. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, ideally, I'll take a little bit of time off, and then from there, I like to get ready like 2 months before the season starts, before we actually start racing. And usually, depending on how the weather is here, or if I can go to the indoor track that's like 5 hours away, we, we could ride a month or two before the season, like the racing season actually starts.
That's awesome. And then obviously you're with Trump this year, right?
Hmm.
Which is
Yep.
freaking awesome. We had this conversation already on the phone, but I'm gonna ask you again. How's the Trump bike, man? They look amazing. I know Ricky Carmichael had a huge part into. Well, I don't know how much he had to actually develop the bike, because I don't have no inside info on that. But from what I hear, he had a lot to do with developing the weapon you're on right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bike's really good. I flew into Moncton, the Riverglade National. I flew into there. That's where Coastal Moto's based out of. They actually got two bikes last year. So then I flew in, rode the team owner's bike, Joel Hillier. I rode his bike. Flew in. Literally, first time I rode it was the first qualifier, and I was comfortable actually right away. I really was. It handled really well. The suspension being stock was really good. It held me up pretty good. Um, Power wise, I haven't ridden it with the 2025 update, but the 2024 update, it was good, but it was kind of like well, when it was a little boggy, and like especially with the deep ruts at a pro national, you really need that torque to get out of those deep ruts. So Other than that, it was for a stock bike, it's really good. Like I was hitting everything right away. And Riverglade's got a lot of big jumps. I mean, pretty much every jump on that track is big. There's no small jumps there. But I hit everything right away first lap, and I felt comfortable on it.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking about me and you being there and me watching you jump and I'm riding on the outside. I'm good right here, Talon. You do you, right? Yeah. It's awesome. So how did you do which do the Trump? I've seen it. It's an amazing looking machine. You know,
Hmm.
Ducati's in it too. They started, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken, in the Italian championship. And I'm is it this year they're starting with the Ducati here? Or
Next
next year?
year, yeah,
Okay,
next year
yeah,
we're
it's next
doing.
year.
Yep.
All right. So and Joel reached out to me, which I had a conversation with him too.
Yep.
How did you and Joel end up meeting? Like, how did I don't like to use the word sponsorship, right?
Hmm.
Nobody does. Let's just be honest, because it's part of a mental game that
Yep.
you stress so much about trying to find funding and this and that, blah 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 blah, right?
Hmm.
Almost to the point to where it makes you want to throw up. Let's just be honest. So I don't like to use the word sponsorship. So let's call it friends.
Yeah.
How how did you meet Joel? And after you tell that story, how does one like you go out and meet friends to help fund your passion?
Yeah. So I met Joel. So I'm big on LinkedIn. That's my biggest marketing tool is LinkedIn.
That's how I met you.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so LinkedIn, he was on there and he was liking all my stuff. He asked to connect, and from there I don't know, he just liked what I was the way I was marketing my, partnerships that with people in the industry. And um
My
he
friends.
yeah, my friends, he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a race team, depending on what it would be, would you be interested?" And I said, "Yeah," cuz I really had nothing going in 20 that was in 2022. In 2022, I did 3 nationals, and yeah, I already did one, and the next one was his race in Riverglade because he's based out of Halifax, and Moncton is 3 hours north of where he lives. So, yeah, I said yes, obviously, and from there, he flew me out, and I rode his Honda. He had a stock Honda CRF 450, and I did not like that bike whatsoever.
No.
I think it was set up for him,
Yeah.
and I was just yeah. It was too rigid for me, I didn't like it, but like I said, I ride a I'm coming off riding a KTM 350. I don't really like 450s, um, I just it rides me, I don't ride it.
Yeah.
As the
Yeah.
350 is like the happy medium,
Dude, I'm
it's
like you, a 450. I jump on a 450. I remember the first time I threw my buddy bought an RMZ 450. So
mhm,
you got to come ride this thing. It's like a 1,000 and for the street in the dirt. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Shut up, dude. I grew up, dude. CR 250Rs are fast, but dude, come on now. That's not
yep,
all that.
right,
Dude, I threw my leg over this thing. I said, holy shit. Are you kidding me
dude,
right now? Dude,
they're
this thing right
dumb,
here is a monster. Like, bro. And then so I worked on my buddy's, he had a 2018 KX 450. My dad comes over and I was like, bro, you got to ride this thing, dad. He's like, rah, 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 rah. I'm like, dude, just throw your leg over the freaking bike and go. And he comes back. He says, holy shit. I said, I told you.
mhm,
I mean, it's dude, they are they're a weapon, dude. They're it's I don't want to say it's almost too much. I mean, let's just be honest, like 1,000 for the street, 200 some horsepower. It's, a little bit too much. Let's just be honest. The only reason why I say that, hey, as far as racing goes, is because when you're out there on the track, man, you actually turn down the torque and the horsepower to go fast around the track, right? You're not using it all anyway.
right,
That's a whole nother story. But yes, I'm with you on that. My buddy bought a KTM 350, and I got on that thing, and I was like, bro, this thing is it's just amazing. It
mhm,
has power everywhere. It's not overly aggressive like a 450 because let's just be honest, in any gear in a 450, it's just like
oh, yeah, yeah, they're insane,
yeah. So where the 350 is more controllable, I feel like right off the
mhm,
jump. So the more I classify motorcycles in the road racing world like women, right? They're all beautiful in their own way. They all have their own style, meaning that you go to dance and tango with this girl, you got to learn the salsa a little bit different because her moves are different. The way she likes to be ridden, right? The way
right,
her chassis flex, the way the swing arm flex, that what gives you that feel, right?
yep,
Um, I know you guys don't do this in the dirt. This is just a road racing thing. But anyway, yeah. So it's you jump off one bike to another bike, and a lot of times your first impression is I like the seat position, but the handlebars is wrong, the
Mhm.
rear brake's wrong, the shift is wrong, the clutch is wrong, the levers, all this. I got to change all this,
Yep.
and even still, it's like you struggle to feel like you're getting the best out of yourself on this machine. Now,
Right.
whether it's the machine actually, or is it something else in your mind, and you're just not, I want to say, not realizing at the time, or almost not willing to want to adapt your riding style and body position to get the best out of that particular woman, if that
Right.
makes sense, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, dude, I feel you on that. I've jumped on some dirt bikes before, and I'm like, yeah, it's just not me, right? It's just that first initial kind of impression, you're like, yeah, nah, yeah.
100%. Yep.
So
Absolutely.
so from the so you met Joel, and then from there 450. You said, I don't like your 450. What did he say when you come in? It was like, Joel, man, I don't like this bike, Joel.
Well, I didn't say that to him. I
I
mean,
know,
I was just thankful to be there, and
I know, Talon. I'm just giving you all the
yeah,
time, man.
I know. Yeah, no,
Uh,
um, he knew it was gonna be difficult for me. He's like, "You're jumping
yeah,
on a bike you've never ridden."
yeah.
Because every time, well, not every time. Well, no, actually, yeah, every time. The 2022, I rode his 450, never ridden it. And then last year was the Triumph, and that was the only bike I actually got on well with immediately. I was like, "Oh man, dude, this thing's
It's
awesome."
nice. Yeah, this
Yeah,
thing's nice.
I still smile about riding that thing. That thing was it was awesome. It handled so well. So, yeah, the Triumph's an awesome bike. I really like it. I think it's, um, there's not a lot of parts out for it yet as far as aftermarket, tuning and all the other good stuff. So it's still pretty early on in that stage of things. But once that comes around, I think you're going to see more people on them because they are really good bikes.
No, 100%. I agree that in the Ducatis, but
Hmm.
the cost of things is expensive too. I remember, you know, back then dirt bikes weren't a whole lot of money.
Right,
I mean, we say that now, but back then it was pretty still expensive, but nothing compare, to what it is these days.
right.
And there's so many options out there to choose from too, right? Which is great because back when we were coming up, we Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki. Every once in a while, you might come across a KTM dealership, but those were more in the bigger cities, bigger rural areas, that
Right.
are, I guess, higher average income of families and all that stuff, right? Kind of like Ducatis. Let's just be
Hmm.
honest, right? You get there's now they're more around, but back then when it first came here, there's very few you can actually go to and see. And Aprilia is like that now. The Aprilia motorcycle brand now.
Yep.
I don't know of in the closest dealership that I know of that's an Aprilia dealership is in Maryland.
Oh wow, that's a haul for you, hey?
Yeah. It's Maryland be like 4 or 5 hours drive, depending on where it's at. Yeah, it's nothing like going down to your local dealership and having the full flavors of the rainbow. Let's just say, right?
Right.
Um, Meaning all the manufacturers of motorcycles. That's one thing too, man. I think would be a great idea. I'm just kind of rambling off the top of my head. Is that we had like a store we could go to and actually, I guess, kind of like rent a bike for the day, right? Oh, I want to try the gas. Oh, let me try the Husqvarna. Ooh, I want to try this KTM. Ooh, let me try this Honda. Let me do this, and then you could be like, overall, I like this one the best. This is the one I want to buy. And then go in there and do your paperwork and see ya.
Peace. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Pretty much.
Unfortunately, it's not like that, right? You see a bike, you throw your leg over on the showroom floor, you're like, I can do this, I can adjust that, because it's hard to tell. Your initial first plant my ass on, put my feet up on the pegs, that's one thing. But then
Yep.
physically riding it, you might think you might like it, and you go out and you're like, I think I done fucked up. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
pretty
Like,
much.
I made a terrible mistake right now. So, yeah, but what a cool idea that would be.
Yep.
So, yeah. And so now we're in 2025 and you're back with Joel. You're back
Mhm.
on the Triumph, which I'm super stoked about. I can't wait to follow your season this year and see you get them W's, Talon.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're definitely gonna need it.
Absolutely is the plan. So, going into this season, you and Joel's been working together for a couple seasons now.
Hmm.
You know each other, and on I talk about this all the time, and I'm sure it's like this in the motorcycle, the motocross industry.
Hmm.
It's so important for a rider to be with people and a team surrounding him that fully believe in them 100%, right? If somebody in your team don't have that faith anymore, it plays on you mentally. So now you're not performing the best you can be, because a rider needs to have nothing but an open mind and a clear mind to just solely focus on one thing, which first
Right.
and foremost is to have fun. Let's just be honest, right? But
Yep.
in order to be fast and get those lap times and make it in the show, you got to have fun. You
Yep.
can't worry about, well, I come in and I'm telling dude the front end every time I go in, I hit this berm or whatever, I feel like the front's just always wanting to tuck, tuck, tuck. No matter
Yep.
if I sit forward, I lean back, I loosen my grip, whatever it is, I can't work it out. And then you come back in, you tell them like, quit being a wussy and just go out there and do this. You're good, and you're like, wait, what? No, now I'm not comfortable. Now I got that mental block barrier in my head now.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
know, how do I overcome this? And then I keep going back talking to the people that's supposed to believe in me, and they're just like, hey, blah blah blah. So um, it's like that too on your side too as well.
Hmm. Yeah, it is 100%.
But you and Joel's been, again, what I was originally getting back to, you guys been together for a while, worked together,
Yep.
friends and business partners too as well.
Hmm.
Basically, I call it a play day,
Hmm.
right? Even though it's more serious than a play day, but I just look at it as being, you're in your happy place. This is what
Yeah.
makes me the most happy, right? That's why I keep referring to that. That's when my most happy, of course, my wife, my son. I love more than anything. I want to be home with them all the time. But
Right.
you drop me off at a racetrack, oh buddy, I'm all smiles for miles. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
It's like you're a kid again. Yep.
bro, dude, it's yes, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm going to Daytona in 8 days. I can't wait to hang out with all my friends. But anyway, um, going into 2025, this is your second season on the same bike, so I'm sure you worked out all the little kinks and nuances. Um,
Hmm.
is there any major updates between the 2024 and the 2025 that would maybe you need to work on a little bit more because of those changes?
Um, I know that. So before I flew out about a month ago. Me and my fiance, we flew out to Joel. Um, and we went and picked up one of the Triumphs that I'm riding, the one at least I have at home. We went and picked that one up, and before I had got it, they had updated the map on it because there's no like aftermarket ECU for it yet. So I talked to the guys at Triumph, and they said the best thing to do was get the 2025 map, and it's actually a couple horsepower gain doing that. So on that end, and it kind of fixed the bugs, I suppose. I haven't got to ride it yet, but
You're
yeah,
itching. You're
I'm
itching to
def
get on that thing.
I'm itching,
You're
and the
like,
snow's melted here. We're getting there.
I gotta get on this thing. When can I get on this thing?
That's exactly how I've been.
I know
Yeah,
that's
I'm just
right.
going crazy. But
Uh,
yeah, not really. I mean, other than that, it's like I said, there's not really much we can do yet. But I know stuff is coming out.
yeah.
Talking to the guys at Triumph, there are things coming out for it. So that'll be exciting to try out once that does get released.
I think that's listen, Triumph's been around a long time. I'm a
Mhm.
huge fan of Triumph motorcycles. The 675s are amazing machines. The speed triples, I'm so happy they're in the dirt bike game. But it's like with anything, Joel, dude, they come out with a new model, a whole new project. They got to make all the parts, make the machines to make the parts, yada yada. I
Right.
mean, that's a millions and millions of dollars investment, and then you got
Yep.
to make them and sell them. And dude, they're $1 billion. Well, I don't want to say $1 billion. That's a shit ton of money, but it's still a shit ton of money either way you look at it. And when you
Yeah.
first release a bike, of course, the aftermarket companies don't have the option yet or the R&D needed to be put into it to, yeah, make aftermarket pistons and camshafts and
Yep.
improving over the OEM, which is what all aftermarket does. You have your race only parts, and then you have your mid-level mediocre parts that are, depending on the type of ride you want to do, right? Are you going to
Right.
be trails? Do you want to just pin the gas and in full motocross? Are you going to be outdoors? I mean, where you want your power? You want a top? You want it the mid range? You want bottom mid? It's all a compromise. But with
Right.
being a new model, it's hard to have patience, especially when you got one of the new models and there's not a whole lot you can do to it. Yeah, I can change fork fluid and fork springs and rear shock springs and
Mm-hmm.
put levers on it, or shoot, probably don't even have aftermarket calipers for it yet, right? Or
Right.
our rotors, it's all OEM right now. But they will listen. They're a company that's been doing big things for a long time, and they're just on the up and up and up. They sell a lot of bikes. Everybody that loves them. I got a buddy, Cole King, flat track, come from flat track. He races a Triumph 675 in the Super Hooligans. 675, sorry, 765 in the Super Hooligan class. And one issue he had too is that they didn't have a whole lot of like aftermarket parts for that thing to kind of open her up. Well, you'd had to go to a full, aftermarket Motec system or whatever it is, the full wiring harness with the dash and the whole nine, in order to unlock its full potential.
Right.
Um, because exactly what you're saying right now, there's just not a whole lot of aftermarket companies hadn't had the chance yet to improve on
Right.
what's already a fantastic motorcycle,
Oh
right?
yeah. Right.
Um, so yeah, man, that's good. So do you have any certain expectations coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. So, like, I'm all over the place this year. It's kind of weird. So, I'm doing like three different series. Um, for the most part, the two of them are part time. So, my first couple of races are actually going to be out in the MRC Atlantic, which is basically it's provincial championship. It's New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. So That's where Joel's main focus is this year is with chasing that championship. That's what Triumph wants. That's what the dealership wants. So he's got a full team out there of guys ready to go. So I'll be doing a couple of races there. Um, from there, we're still waiting to hear on the nationals. But if everything's a go, I think we're doing 5 of the 8, or it could be all 8. You never know. Um, and then I'm gonna race more at home to the District 16 championship, which is Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. So I'll be doing that. I'd like to win a district title. That's kind of my plan. Um, a lot of good guys though, so we'll definitely have to work super hard and make sure we can accomplish that goal.
Listen, iron sharpens iron. We already had this discussion, right? And I tell all my friends this, dude. I'm a fan, and I want to see you and wish you the best success. So whatever you envision, Talon, in your dreams as far as making it, in the motocross world, man, I hope you achieve it 8 times over. And it's an absolute honor to be your friend and follow your progression to see you climb those steps and step on the top box. I'm having an issue today. Um, it's a lot of it's mentally right here, right? So
Right.
um, you're fast, you're a legend, and you're gonna do it. So
I
let's go.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. We definitely gotta
Let's
make it happen.
bro, you will make it happen. I'm a big believer in, you hear it, speak it into existence, right? But
Right.
also with just talking about it, you can't just sit on a couch and talk about it and expect you go win the lotto. You got to go play the lotto to win the lotto, right? You
Correct.
you want to go be a champion in whatever road racing sport, motocross, whatever it is. You got to put in the work. But talking about it and staying positive about it, I
Hmm.
feel like it helps the journey.
Yep.
Let's just say that, right?
Yep.
Because you first and foremost, you got to really believe in yourself.
Yep.
And that's where it starts, is your belief in you. I can do it. I'm just as good. There's no reason why I can't be successful doing this, right?
Yep.
Now it's everything in between the chapter. That's the stair climb up to get there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Yeah.
but it's how you handle the situation as you're climbing those stairs too, as well. That also defines you. I read this. I'm trying to remember since I read it who freaking did, and I can't find it. You know, sometimes you'll come across a saying, you're like, I freaking love that. Like, I'm gonna start. That is so true, and then you can't
Yep.
find it anymore. You're like, I just don't know where it is. Um, One of them, which I say all the time, is none of us are strangers, we're just friends that haven't met yet. Right? I'm a firm believer in that. Um, Man, the other one, I just had a brain fart.
It happens.
Dude, it does. It does. Anyway, it'll come back to me and I'll just blurt it out. Be like, that's what I was talking about.
Yep.
It's speaking of, we got the Joel Hiller. What is up, my man? He says, love it. Talon is the hardest working man in motocross.
Yep. That's boss man right there.
I love it, man. I love it, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God. Dude, look, we're 56 minutes into this podcast.
I know it went by pretty quick.
I told you it would go by quick, right?
Yeah.
So let's I wanted to transition here in a few minutes to what's one of my favorite parts of the podcast where we get to know Talon
Hmm.
away from the motocross and all that good stuff. Man, listen, I'm super excited for you. This season's going to be, proper mega, as I always say. Everything you want to achieve, man, dude, best of luck. You're absolutely going to do it. Again, like I was saying, just stay positive. It's, this is what I was going to say. Most things in life are temporary, meaning you're a motocross champ, people might remember you, but you get this little plaque. They're not going to
Hmm.
remember you winning a championship in 1983 and year 2030, right? But
Right.
what people will remember about you is the way you treated them and the
Right.
energy you put off and the
Yep.
love and support you give to everybody, right? That's what I was going to say, and that's with that being said, Talon, you show up, nothing's going your way at the weekend. The front end just feels like garbage or the rear feels like garbage. I just can't get the tires to hook up. I can't hit this berm. I just can't get out of my own way this weekend, right? How do
Hmm.
you mentally overcome those challenges?
Yeah. I mean, if you're having a bad weekend and just overall results wise wasn't very good, I mean, I got pretty good at it because it took me a long time to win races. I didn't win my first race until I was 16,
Yep.
17, around there. So yeah, I mean, going from all those years of racing, never winning a race, I just knew I could do it. So, having a positive attitude that's your best friend.
100%.
So, it doesn't go your way today, then work on it, make it better, work hard. No one really cares. No one really cares if you're complaining. It doesn't do you any good. So, yeah, there's a lot of times where it was just super difficult, but at the end of the day, it's a bad race. You could be in a stump for a couple of months, it is what it is. You just got to work over it, Eventually you will. Mindset's the biggest thing.
I
100%.
say it all the time. I say that all the time. It is. It's such a, again, that being said, that's the mental side of I mean, you can relate that to life. Let's just say life is
Mhm.
such a freaking matrix of a mental mind. Fuck, it's crazy sometimes.
Yep.
It's just how you approach it and how you deal with it. And sometimes, not sometimes, I try to. I've been working on myself better to enjoy the suck.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when
Yep.
you days are not going good, it's like, you know what? That's just today. In 30 minutes from now, it's not even going to be like this, right? In 15
Right.
minutes from now, it's not even going to be like this. So just enjoy it because this is a time. Time is a thief.
Mhm.
It's the biggest thief in the world, right?
Right.
Time is something you can't stop, you can't pause, you can't rewind, you can't take back. It continues ticks, 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 right?
Yep.
Um, so enjoy it because our life is literally this freaking long. It's not as long as we think it is. Like my son's 12 and I'm 45. He's like, dude, I got so much time. I'm like, yeah, it seems like that now, but
Mhm.
you blink your eyes, next thing you know, you're graduated high school. You blink your eyes again, you've freaking been 10 years in a job and
Yep.
married with a kid and got a house and a mortgage and stressing over this all this life bullshit, right? And then
Yep.
I'm like, it wasn't that long ago, was it, Rossi? I'm just saying, the point I'm saying is, be happy, love everybody, put out the positive energy every day, no matter what you're going through. It's easier said than done. I get it. Do I still struggle with it sometimes? Yeah, I'm human. But when I I have those conversations with myself when I'm in that suck. Hey, don't complain. It's good. Take deep breath. You got this.
Yep.
Turn that negative into a positive energy, right?
Mhm.
And enjoy that moment. And to me, that's how I deal with it, right? Especially if I'm not going good at the track, I'm doing a track day or club race, whatever it is, man. It's like, dude, just nothing's going my way. Like,
Mhm.
just nothing. I can't even
Mhm.
put on my socks right today, right? You've been there, we've been there. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
nothing feels right at all.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, man. But that's also part of having those uh key players around you, the people that are in your corner, always talking you up positive, blah 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 blah. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's good. So with that being said, man, I ask this question to all my friends that race, right? No matter where you race or what you do as far as racing. Some do, some don't. Some have a ritual on how they get dressed and how they prepare before they go out. What I call is battle, like Leonidas and the Spartans going out with the 10,000 Persians, but you're not fighting 10,000 Persians. You're
Yeah.
fighting 40 riders on the track, which is
Yep.
it's a battle, it's a fight, right? So
Yeah.
how does Talon physically and mentally prepare before you go out and you get up on that grid and that gate drops and you
Yeah, I mean, basically, boy, basically gotta shut everything out is what I mean. You have to be focused. So I mean, for me, like I definitely when I know I'm gonna race, 10, 15, 20 minutes before, I just completely the blinds come out. Everyone, I don't know what other people are doing. I'm just mostly focusing on myself and you have to be 100% focused because if you're not 100% focused, that's when things go bad. So yeah, for me, I don't know. I've always been pretty good about just shutting people out when I need to and just focusing on the job at hand. You're always nervous. Like for me, I'm always nervous when we're sitting there on the line and there's no bikes running. As soon as they say fire it up, that's when
it's go time.
it's go time. I just
It's
forget
go
about it.
time.
It's like I'm
Yeah.
ready to die right now.
Yeah, dude, listen, it's
That's
funny you
how
say
it
that because
is.
same thing on a road race circuit. You sit on the bike, of course, the bike's running, but it's when you see that guy walking off and then that visor comes down, that's when it's everything just goes quiet.
Hmm.
Everything. It's like you don't even hear the bike. You just solely focus dead ahead on what you get ready to do. Ready to die for this shit. I
Pretty
love the
much.
way you put that. It is. That's exactly what it is.
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and and it's a beautiful story, man. Our road race circuit, our beautiful circus, I'll call it, in the world, whether you're motocross, road racing, whatever. It's one of the only circuses that even the clowns got to pay to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and
Yep.
and we love them, because we're the clowns. Let's just be honest, because we pay to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, man, it's good. So, with that being said, do you have any rituals as far as like do you put your left boot on before your right boot, your socks inside out, lucky underwear? Do you have anything like that?
Nothing too crazy. And the only thing I make sure I do before I actually take off is I mean I pray. I do a short little prayer and that's about it. Nothing
I
too
got
crazy though.
I like to ask that question because everybody approaches it different, right? The way they prepare for battle, the way they either sit by themselves, they got their best friend or their girl or their kid with them as their undersuit, leather suit, left boot, right boot, blah 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 blah. Buddy by Nolan Lampkin, big shout out to him. It's an absolute legend and a champion. I asked him that question. He's like, "No, I don't do anything too. I just wear my socks inside out." And I was like, why do you wear your socks inside out? He's like, the little seams right there where they sew it together and you fill them with your toes. He's like, I can't stand that. I was like, bro, I don't like that neither. So since that podcast, I'm gonna have to go back and see when that was. That was last year, dude. I've been wearing my socks inside out, and people would be like, "Did you know your socks are inside out?" I said, "Dude, have you ever done it?" And they're like, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
you nuts? I'm like, where's the rule in the law saying you can't wear them inside out? I'm confused right now, right? But you should try it, dude. Talon, try it, Joel. If you're still listening, when you wake up tomorrow, you go put your socks on, wear them inside out.
I'll try it out.
Bro, please try it out, Talon, and shoot me a text. Be like, bro, I tried the inside out. Absolute, you're right. It, it,
It's a
it
game
makes,
changer.
dude, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Now, when I fold my socks, I fold them inside out. So when I pick them up and I pull them out, they're inside out, right? It's
Right.
bro, it's yeah, it's one of those the little simple things in life kind of make you the happiest sometimes when you find them. You're like,
Yep.
yes, dude, yeah. So, and I never noticed this, and I should have. It's pretty bad. I'm getting ready to say this, but my wife's like, "Wait, you just now wearing your socks inside out?" I've been doing that for years, and I'm like, I've been married like since then. I don't pay attention, right? Like, there might be sometimes they're like, your socks inside out. And she's like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
She's my wife. She don't care. She's like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, it was a game changer for me, man, for real. Just in everyday life, right? And I know when I put on my road racing boots, because the socks and motocross socks, they're thicker than your normal thin Hanes running shoe sock, right?
Right.
Um, that's when I really noticed a big difference too. Is you put them on inside out because they got that big thick seam in the front.
Hmm.
Yeah, so or underneath your toe, wherever it is. But yes, try it. Absolutely try. So listen, the next question I have got to ask you, bro. Do you watch the Trailer Park Boys?
Yes, I
I had
do.
to ask you that. When I reached out to you on LinkedIn, I was like, yes, dude, I already had it in my mind. When it comes time to the questions, I got to ask them about the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I got into it a couple years ago. Actually, one of my best buddies, Andrew, he's in Canada, and he does a really good Bubbles impersonation. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's my go-to. I do like that show. Trailer Park Boys is, if I'm having a bad day, I can watch that and just, all
Laugh.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I,
can shake it off.
I'm not having as
100%.
bad day as they are for sure. Yeah, dude. My buddy turned me, one of my best friends turned me on. I go to him with Tomoto GP every year. I fly out to Oklahoma. We drive to Texas. It's 5 hours. I do that because I get to physically spend more time with them. We take
Right,
that 5 hour drive there and back instead of flying out there and spending literally 2 days together, 2.5 days, and getting back on it and coming home. Now we get to spend 5 days together, right? So
right.
I'm over there one time. He's like, "Bro, have you seen the Trailer Park Boys?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want to watch the Trailer Park Boys. No, I haven't." He's like, "Dude, you just gotta watch it." And I sat down. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! This is absolutely it's a different type of humor,
Hmm.
but it is absolutely amazing. It's
Oh
such a
yeah,
good show,
yeah. Once you catch all the little tidbits of it, of things
bro."
that they say, yeah, I thought the same thing because I watched it. I remember watching it like 5 years ago, and I was like, it's not really for me. Then I actually sat down and watched it, and I was like, dude, what was I missing?
What was I thinking then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's good stuff, man. That's
Hmm.
awesome. So, what do you do for a day job?
I do a couple of things. So like right now, so I've been at UPS for a couple years. I'm basically just a coverage driver, just kind of sitting, waiting around for my opportunity to be a full-time driver. When I'm not there, I work at Pembine Sport and Lawn. Basically, just do service technician stuff and fix lawnmowers, four-wheelers, ATVs, side-by-sides, snowmobiles, all that
Snow
fun stuff.
blowers, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Snowblowers, chainsaws,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it's those are the two things I bounce around between. So
I love it. I love it. And you mentioned question I usually have is, do you have a girlfriend? Oh, ladies, he's single, right? But in this case, you're not. You got a girlfriend. So
yeah, yeah, I'm
I
getting hitched.
congratulations. I actually met my wife on a blind date. A buddy of mine, his wife worked with her, and you know how it goes. Oh, I think you'd like her. I was like, yeah, I don't want to meet nobody right now. We ended up meeting, and yeah, we've been married since '08. So
Congratulations, that's
thank you,
awesome.
man. I appreciate it. So how did you and your fiance get together? How'd you guys meet?
We met online. Yeah, we met online and took her some convincing to come hang out.
To talk to me, she's like,
Uh
dude, you're
huh.
talking to me on OnlyFans. What makes you think I want to come hang out with you? You're like, please. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was we hung out. Like I said, it took some convincing, but yeah, she wasn't gonna come, and I was like, I talked her into it, and literally from there, 2 weeks later, we moved in together. So that's how it worked out, and now we have a 3-year-old. So yeah,
Oh, I love
yeah, it's
it.
awesome. Life goes by pretty quick.
Hey, listen, especially when you add a kid to the equation. Once they get here, it's like, dude, it's like the Millennium Falcon light speed. It's crazy how fast time's been going. It's like, I mean, we're already in the almost the third month of 2025. Like,
I
what
know,
happened to the beginning? You know what I mean? It's
right?
technically we are. We're but we're not. It's insane, man. But congratulations on getting hitched. When you guys getting married?
We're getting married second week of September.
I love
Yeah,
it, man. I love it. Are
yeah,
you doing it here in the States or?
yeah. We're doing the States. We're gonna do it up in Upper Michigan. Got a nice outdoor venue, and yeah, it'll be. Doesn't feel real yet, but I keep reminding myself every day, like, oh crap, I'm getting married in like 6 months. It's crazy. It's real
Yeah,
crazy.
it's different, man. It's not different.
Hmm.
What I meant to say is, it's like it's just like lining up on the grid, whether you're road racing or motocross. It's the anxiety, it's the anticipation, it's the whole dude. I get the same thing before I podcast.
Hmm.
Like I'll be looking at my phone, like I got a podcast in 45 minutes. I got a podcast in 4 hours. I got a podcast, and I pace the house and
Yep.
dude, it's all part of the anxiety. It just goes to show that you're really into it, right?
Oh,
It's
100%.
you give your all to it. So it was like that with me. Obviously, I think it's like that with everybody because it's that whole um I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, but do I really? No, I'm just joking. It's that whole uh it's that whole I'm just joking, everybody, but it's that whole shit's getting real now. Like
Hmm.
it's really gonna get real, but it's dude, there's nothing like it. It's all a compromise, just like before you get married, and communication and talking and forgiveness and all that snazzy jazz, blah 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 blah. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's amazing, especially when your woman truly loves you and you truly love her, and you got each other's back through thick and thin, no matter what.
Yep.
There's times where not everybody's going to get along, and I get on your nerves and you get on my nerves and just disappear for a day or two and come back, right? That type of feeling. But at the end of the day, it's she's my queen. That's what I call her. So
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
100%, man. But congratulations, dude. I'm happy for you, dude. That's
Yeah.
freaking
Thank you.
awesome. So, are you guys having any more kids?
After we get married, I think we're gonna try for number two. So yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
We
I
got a
love it.
girl, so like perfect world, a boy would be nice.
So,
But
do you have any expectations? Are you going to try to, get your daughter or potential future son into motocross?
if they want to, yeah, I think my little girl, she's showing interest in it. Like she was watching racing ever since she was born. So like she sees a dirt bike and she doesn't matter if it's me or not. She's like, "Oh, daddy." But I mean, she loves it. So I don't know. I think she might get into it. But if she doesn't, that's cool. But if we have another one and boy or girl, if they want to do it, 100%, I'm all for it.
Oh, of course, right? Because there's always, I think when it comes to a man, I can't speak of a woman because I'm not a woman, but as far as a dad standpoint, we want our son or our daughter to at least have a lot of the same interests that we're interested in, hopefully have the same passion and love for one in particular thing that we have the same passion and love for, which is two wheels, right?
Right.
Um, I remember when Rossi was born, he had a PW50 before he even was into this world, and then I got him he's born November, so for Christmas in December, that December he was November, December, a month old. I got him a KTM Strider bike.
Heck yeah. Dude,
So
that's awesome.
that's what he started on, and yeah, he never really showed interest into motorcycles, even though he goes to a ton of Moto America races with me.
Hmm.
Um, Once he met Yandel Mendia, big shout out to Yandel and his parents. He's a legend in road racing. He dude, Rossi jumps on his little 50, dude, and dude, he's gone. Like, dude, I can go to a Moto America event with my son. He's 12 now. Back then he was 10 or
Hmm.
9, I can't remember. Uh Literally show up. He'll get out the car. He'll go straight to Yondell and his parents and run around the paddock. And I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry about him getting kidnapped because everybody knows who my son is. Everybody
Right.
loves Rossi. He's either eating or taking a nap or riding somebody's motorcycle somewhere in the paddock, right? So, but I bought him many dirt bikes and he just away from it, just never really, he's like, just not for me. He'll go out there and sit on the garage and be like, turn it on and be like, I'm gonna go back in and play Fortnite or something. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't, my point is, I don't never force it upon him, right?
Right.
It's not something that I want to well, you have to do this. No, because then you're just not going to like it because you're forced to
Right.
do something. So,
Right.
uh, the last year, the last race in Jersey, which is the last round for Moto America, he come up to me. He's like, "I think I'm ready, Dad." He's like, "I want a dirt bike for Christmas." And I said, I done bought them for. So I was just like, yeah, okay. Go ask Grandpa, which is my dad, right? Dude, he runs straight up to my dad and was like, I want a dirt bike for Christmas, Dad. He's like, okay. So we got a dirt bike for Christmas, right? So he's used to automatic. This is his first clutch one. So we get home. We got literally 20 minutes before it gets dark. I said, we're home. You want to jump on it real quick? He's like, yeah, let me get a try. He gets on it. I sit on it with him. I'm letting out the clutch. I was like, look, dude, see how I'm slowly letting out the clutch and come up in the ball of my feet and then pull the clutch in? That's when it starts to move and drag, right? So don't
Yep.
just dump the clutch and go because it's just going to go
Oh yeah.
and you're going to hit the deck, right? He's like, oh, I got this. Get off. What does he do? Boom. And it hits the deck and he gets up. He's like, that kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, listen, yeah, I was like, dude, I understand. Don't be scared, right? This is the thing that I don't want you to do. Like, you have to get back on this thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
you have to immediately get back on this. Whether you just sit on it, just get on it and sit on it. Like, get over that fear. I was like, it's easy, dude. So one day, he's hadn't really ridden it yet. It's starting to get warmer now, so maybe today when he gets off the school bus, he'll be like, bro, trying to break out this dirt bike and ride it for a few or what? So we'll see. Um, but yeah, man, I feel you on that, dude. Um, are you a coffee drinker, bro?
Oh yeah. All day, every day.
I said all day, every day. I love it. Me too. Are you black or creamer or
Um, there was a few years I just drank black coffee. I didn't really care. I just would be like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, just brew up a hot coffee and just drink it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, now a little bit of creamer, but not too much. I don't like too much sugar, so
you sound just like my wife? I come home. It's like I get up at like 4:30, 4:45. My wife gets up about 5. It'll be 9 o'clock at night. She's making coffee. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm drinking a cup of coffee. I'm like, I'd be up all night bouncing off the walls if I drink coffee that night. But some
oh
people
yeah.
can, some people can't. That's just not, yeah, it's not me. Um, bro, tell us something we don't know about Talon.
That's a really good question actually. I don't know. Um
Do we need to get your fiance on the phone? Oh, she'll tell us for sure.
oh, she probably could come up with something.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sure she
100%
could.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't have
It's got to be something
anything. I
like
don't think.
I play the guitar.
Oh, I used to when I was a kid. Yeah, I played it a little bit. I haven't played in shoot 16 years. It's been
I
a long
gotcha.
time.
Or maybe
Yeah.
something like I can't let my food touch on my plate. I got to keep everything separate. Just so
Now
any
that would be my fiance. She's definitely that.
that's my wife too. She's like, I'm like, mix it all together. She's like, don't you touch it. It's not supposed to touch. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
goes in
really
the
don't care.
same
I'll just
bowl.
eat
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'll
I
eat it.
bang it out. Let me get it. Right. Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Let- all right. You think about that. We'll come back to that question.
Okay.
Then tell us what your worst habit is. He's like, Simcoe, come on, man. What are you doing to me here? Like, do you bite your nails? Or you a procrastinator?
Probably procrastinate a little bit. I rub my feet. Well, sometimes drives my fiance crazy. That's probably my worst habit.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, she'll go crazy like stop that. It's like I can't help it. It's just a
Yeah, you're
bad.
like,
It's just a habit I do.
so I got ADHD, and part of that is I'll get my leg going and my knee going, right? My wife's like, dude, if you don't stop that, I'm like, okay, I'm
I
sorry.
I do that too. I seriously do that. We'll be laying in bed and I'll just move
And
my
I'm
leg
just,
and she's like, stop.
bro, I can't help it. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'll stop. I'm like, okay, I will. And literally, like, without even thinking about it, it's like natural. It just starts doing it again. She's like,
Yep,
if you don't stop doing that, I'm gonna stab you. I'm like, oh, it's all right.
100%.
Yeah, same thing. I'll be at the kitchen table and I have my knees just going and sometimes when I'm doing a podcast, if you see that the screen kind of going like this and me moving a little bit, it's because I'm freaking my
Moving your
legs
legs.
going.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it's a habit, man. I don't know what it is, but
I don't either.
I'm at least I'm not the only one that does it.
Dude, trust us. We are not alone. We are not alone, dude. Believe me, we are not. Oh my god. I'm a big audiobook listener, dude. I listen
Yep.
to a shit ton of audiobooks. Matter of fact, I'm currently listening to, which is a really good book, Toby Price.
Oh, okay, Dakar.
And yep,
Nice. Dude, those guys are insane.
they're they're on a different planet. I'll say that, right? They but again, it's that pushing yourself to as hard as you think you can push yourself, but then going to beyond that
Mm-hmm.
and pushing yourself even further, right? Like really learning who you are and what you're about and how far you're willing to die for this sport. Let's just say
Right.
that, right? Yeah, it's a really good book, man. It really is. I think I'm on chapter I got 3 hours and 37 minutes left. I'm on chapter 10, and it's where he talked about he lost his ride with KTM because of his one of his injuries, and then the guy, did he pass away? I can't remember. Shit, how can I not remember? I just listened to it last night. Anyway, part of my ADHD, right? I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that shit now. Anyway, he ended up being back with the factory KTM
Mm-hmm.
for the Dakar. So yeah, man, it's a really good book. I like it when you listen to an audiobook, especially an autobiography. It's hard. I question everything. I don't give a
Mm-hmm.
shit what it is. Show me, prove it, let me see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I listen to audiobooks, sometimes I question what I'm listening to, not as far as the story's good, but as far as are they really actually telling the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Because me and you can come with the audiobook and just lie our asses off, and
Oh
who's
yeah.
gonna know? Who's gonna
Right.
know, Talon? Except for your fiance, your mom, and your dad, and your friends. Other than that, ain't nobody gonna know.
Right.
So how true is this? That's just how I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but his book's really good, man. Like he don't hold nothing back. Kind of like John Hopkins and Leather. It's one of my favorite motorcycle racing books. That's a really good book, man. You need to read that or listen to it. But with that being said, do you read or do you listen to audiobooks?
I don't. The only reading I really do is just
Shop
like
manuals don't count.
no, not shop manuals. I'll read articles. Um, like I was a hardcore Formula One fan. Still kind of am.
Who's your
Although,
driver?
well, it was Danny Rick. I just like who he is, personality wise.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my dude, man. Yeah, I
yeah.
love Daniel
I
Ricciardo.
was
He was
pretty
awesome.
upset when he got let go. Not gonna lie.
Me too.
Since then, Kevin Magnussen was another guy. He's not in it no more. So it's like I don't know. I like the underdogs like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I like Pierre Gasly because
I do like
again
Peter. Yep, yep.
he's an underdog. I like yeah, I'm not a big fan of Max Verstappen. I listened to his audiobook, right, to learn more about I don't judge a book by its cover, right? I don't judge anybody. I love everybody. Again,
Mm-hmm,
none of us are strangers, friends that haven't met yet, right? But
mm-hmm,
I guess what how do I want to say this? I don't dislike anybody, but he's not somebody that I immediately cheer for, right? Like I'm more of a Lewis Hamilton, right? Because he's a legend. Let's just
mm-hmm.
face it, right? Lewis Hamilton's a legend. Um, Daniel Ricciardo, of course, dude. For me with Daniel was his whole personality, his aura,
Mm-hmm.
his energy, right? The way he laughed, he didn't take shit so serious.
Right.
That's what I like. Um, yeah, there's a couple guys in there. Lance Stroll, he's all right. I like, dude. Honestly, Lando Norris is probably one of my favorites right now as we speak. I really
Yeah.
like Lando Norris.
Yep.
Um, Matter of fact, dude, I met Zach Brown. Real quick story, dude. So I am flying to Texas I'm flying to Oklahoma to Jason's house for the MotoGP race. This
Yep.
was when I first got into podcast. I had the original logo, which I hated that logo. Because I didn't start this podcast. I actually took it over. But anyway, I'm I'm in Charlotte. I fly to Roanoke because Roanoke's a small little airport, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
so usually when you fly to Roanoke, you don't go to I don't go from here straight to Oklahoma. I'll go from here to Charlotte, then to Chicago, then to Oklahoma, or something like that. So I ended up going to Charlotte, and I get in the airport, get all my shit, whatever, grab me something to drink, yada yada yada. I'm walking, and I ended up in the corner of the dead end section where they have four flights, connecting flights that's going out, right?
Mhm.
There's one chair open. I went over there. I said, "Is anybody sitting here?" No. As soon as I sat down, I looked to my left. I said, "Holy shit!" Just like that, loud as hell. And he looks at me. I said, "Fucking Zach Brown, bro, what is up?" And he's like, "Oh my god, dude, your energy says, dude, yeah, it was absolutely." I'm like, "Dude, I'm such a fan." Like, blah 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 blah. And yeah, dude, I really wanted to ask him because that was the year after Ricardo didn't race for he left, you know,
Oh, yeah, yep.
right. So I really wanted to ask him about it, but I was like, nah, dude, it was just an honor to he was really cool. He talked to me for a minute. As soon as I sat down and I did the whole thing, and he was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like, and nobody, dude, the craziest thing is like nobody around me knew who the fuck he was. I'm like, y'all don't know who. Like, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
get a bunch of people over there and get pictures or anything like that. Like, I was just like, once in a lifetime deal, right? I
Yeah.
mean, let's just be honest. You're gonna, dude, Zach Brown? Are you kidding me? So
100%.
yeah, we talked for a minute, and then they called the whole flights, and he's like, "Look, man, I hate to cut it short, but I got a board right now." So yeah, gave him a big high five, took a picture, and yeah, man. So anyway, that's my little F1 glory kind of story, man.
That's so cool.
It is, dude. I've never been to a real F1 race, man. I want to so bad. It's just so freaking expensive, dude.
Yeah, I'm the same. I really wanna go to, I'd like to go to F1 at the Austin race. I'd like to go there. One day we'll get to one.
Yeah, one day I'll get to one. I'll get to nosebleed seats, whatever. I just want to feel the energy, hear the sound. Like, it's. Let's be honest, it's a boring sport. It's not as cool as it used to be. It's not
Mhm.
as exciting. The characters make it the exciting part, right?
Right.
Netflix made F1 what it is now in the United States
Correct.
because of that series. It's one of the best um real series of racing, period.
Right.
Any type of racing. It's so good. The way they produced it, the way they brought the characters out, the way they showed the true sides of every character, which was, excuse me, absolutely amazing. So, yeah, just you said F1, so I kind of lit up. Matter of fact, I love the Red Bull car, dude. Who don't love Red Bull? The blue, no, dude, dude, it's such a sick ass car. Of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
I like the McLaren, but I got the Red Bull vest, so I wear that, out because it's cool. Got tag hue and all. Yeah, fuck yeah, the best. Yeah, yeah, it's good. People are like, where'd you get that from? It's F1, man. Go ahead and order it, blah blah blah. But yeah, dude, it's I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that.
Hell yeah.
That's so again, any audiobooks?
No, I mean, no, not really. Um,
You messed up when you said F1. I had to take it to another direction.
no. No, yeah, don't really listen to audiobooks. Um, yeah, the only reading I really do, like I said, is just reading articles quickly or forums. I mean, it's not really reading, but just reading comments or some publisher, but yeah. Yeah, nothing like that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll send you a couple. You can maybe when you're driving or on your chip, throw your earbuds in or whatever, and give it a listen to. Podcast. Did you listen to any podcasts at all, or any you could recommend to anybody?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I listen to yours. I do listen to CMX Unfiltered, which is like the Canadian motocross. I know Goldie pretty well. Um, so I do like his podcasts. Don't really. I used to listen to Pulp MX a little bit, not too much. Direct Motocross, I listen to them. Like I said, most of the podcasts I listen to are like Canadian, because that's just what I'm in.
Yeah,
Every now and then I listen to a Vital MX podcast or about the World Championships or whatnot. Just I like silly season news. It's
yeah.
always curious to hear that. But
Well, yeah, it's always shit talk too, silly. Let's just
oh
be
yeah,
honest. Yeah, dude,
yeah,
it they do it on purpose to spark interest and get people to listen and all that good stuff, which I get, dude. It's ingenious, right?
yep,
Some of it's just flat out bullshit. You hear it and you're like, yeah, dude, that absolutely not. But sometimes that flat out bullshit you think you hear
yep.
comes to be true, and you're like, I never. That's like it. That come out of left field. Like yeah, I didn't even see that one coming. But yeah, man, yeah. What's your favorite holiday, bro?
I like Christmas for sure. I don't really care about presents and whatnot. I just like all the lights and trees and the
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, that's I would say that's probably my favorite. Second would be Thanksgiving because I like turkey.
I love it, dude. He said, "Cause straight up," he said, "Cause I like turkey." I mean, that's I love
Yeah,
it. I'm
I can't go wrong with Thanksgiving.
nah. You know, it's funny you say that because that's the only time that I eat Thanksgiving.
Really.
I mean, that's the only time I eat Thanksgiving. What the hell did I just say? It's the only time I eat turkey. Of course. Yeah, it's the only time I eat turkey is Thanksgiving. I just don't I don't buy it. I just don't eat it, man. Even on Thanksgiving, I'm more of a let me get my mama's homemade gravy and the party mashed potatoes and the rolls and the green bean casserole and um a little piece of ham. Other than that, yeah, I don't eat stuffing. I don't eat cornbread. I'm kind of weird when it comes to that. So to
Oh
me,
man.
people are like, they're like, you don't eat cornbread? I'm like, dude, no, to me, it's like chewing on sand. Now I'm good, bro. Like it's just gravy. I ain't with it.
Nah, there's certain things people don't like eating. That's just the way it is.
That is the way it is. 110%, my friend. So let me ask you this. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Hmm.
Do, are, are you a Star Wars fan too, as well, or Star Trek, or Marvel, or DC, or any of those?
Sadly, no.
It's okay.
No. Now I've tried getting into the Marvel stuff, but yeah, that's not for me. Definitely not.
It's okay. I like sci-fi movies and stuff like that too. With that being said, is there any like Netflix series or Apple TV or Peacock or Hulu? Man, there's so many out there now, right? Streaming apps. Is there anything that you and your fiance are currently watching that you can recommend to somebody?
I mean, we watch the Les Stroud Survivor Man. He's Canadian. I mean, I like watching that kind of stuff, so we'll watch that on YouTube. Um, Trailer Park
I
Boys.
was gonna say the Trailer Park Boys.
That's kind of a go-to. I like the F1 Drive to Survive. I watch every one of those when it does come out, and then I don't watch it for a year until the next season. But
Yeah, they're getting ready to drop a new season. I can't wait.
I know, yeah,
I
it'll
can't
be
wait.
that one's gonna be good, I think. But
It it is.
other than that, no, that's kind of the. I don't really watch too much TV, but if I do, it's those three.
I got you. I got you. I just got done watching The Foundation on Apple TV, which is really good. It's a sci-fi.
Hmm.
Um, and then a one that I recommend to everybody, dude. It's Apple TV too. Is Ted Lasso, bro? That show is absolutely awesome. It is a what it is they took a American football coach
Hmm.
and flew him out to the UK to become a soccer coach. He don't know shit about soccer,
Right.
bro. And it's just like, he comes in, the team don't believe him. They're like, what the hell's a football coach trying to do? Teach soccer, right? Like, what the hell? And dude, it's just just comedy. It's a great show. Highly recommended. So if anybody listening, dude, go check out Ted Lasso. It's
Hmm.
really good. And then I like watching, crime shit. Who don't, right?
Yeah.
I just got done watching I don't fuck it up. The Gabby, her and her boyfriend
Oh,
ended up
that whole
missing.
case. Yeah.
That dude, I like watching stuff like that. That and another one that I told my buddy about that I just got done watching is hang on. Excuse me, I don't want to get this wrong either. So let me just look it up real quick. It's called uh Obey, Eat, Pray, or Pray, Eat, Obey. It's about man, I forget the guy's name. Anyway, it's a dude. I know I'm bad today, Talon, but he's again. It's that's my whole ADHD. If it's not about motorcycles, I have
Hmm.
a hard time struggling to remember anything. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless I write it
Yep.
down or I put it in my calendar on my phone. Other than that, it's like if it don't like, oh my god, it blew my mind. Like this did too, but it was because it was like a cult. I'm like, how do
Right.
people fall into this? Like, what's wrong with y'all? It's kind of like Jim Jones. Everybody drinks the Kool Aid and all that cool stuff.
Hmm.
Well, it's not cool, but you know what I mean. That
Right.
type of yeah, dude. It was a really good show. Buddy of mine turned me on to it, so I was like, it's one of those ones where you start one episode, it kind of starts off slow, and then dude, you're like after this episode, I'll go to bed. After this episode, I'll go to bed. It's 2 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning. You're like,
Yep.
I gotta go to bed. It's one of those. But yeah, it's pretty good, man. I like it. Um, let me ask you this: what's your top 3 tracks?
Oh boy. Top 3 tracks. Um, Motocross Deschambault in Quebec. It's Dude, that track's so sick. It's sand, it's up and downhill through the woods, and the French fans are so nuts. Like you get there, you get off the track, and you go trying to go back to the pits. You can't even walk. You can't even ride your bike through there. You're literally touching, the ground because you're scared you're gonna hit somebody. It's so packed. That I would say that one. Um, there's a track up in Christmas, Michigan, a couple hours from me. That one I really like that track. And then for my third track, I would say Prince George used to be on the national schedule, but it's all the way like halfway up British Columbia, super far away. But that track's it's they're obviously British Columbia's in the Rocky Mountains, so that track's basically on a mountain. So you go up and downhill, and dude, they're gnarly uphills, gnarly downhills. They get so sketchy, but it's a sick track.
Oh, I
I mean,
guarantee.
you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I love tracks like that. And I watch. It's funny you said it because I watched the. I love watching the mountain bikes and like the Red Bull where they go down these steep ass cliffs, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
bro, you got balls of steel watching it. He's gonna eat shit, right? He just glides down it, and I was like, holy shit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, that's freaking awesome. I love stuff like that. It's good stuff. Do you cook? I'm a big cooker, man. I like to make homemade a lot of shit actually. Are you a cooker too?
When I can, yeah. I used to do all the cooking, and then um, usually I come home, dinner's made. I'm very fortunate that way. She takes real good care of me.
Good, good.
After work, she's like, oh, dinner's she'll have it ready. So yeah, she does most of it now. But if I can cook and I don't give her an aneurysm, then yeah, you know, I try to.
Oh my god, I love it. I get cooking for my mom, so I cook. My wife really don't cook a lot. It's me that one that cooks. And um, do you like spicy food? I love
Oh
spicy
my
food.
lord, yeah, I love spicy food. I love
Me,
it.
me too. It's
Big fan.
absolutely, dude. Do you ever watch the hot ones on YouTube?
Mm-mm. I
You ain't
haven't.
never seen the hot ones on YouTube, bro?
No,
Listen, you got
I
to
have to
go to
look it up.
YouTube, bro. So it's this guy's named Sean. He interviews people, and he has 10 chicken wings going from the most mild to like 33,500,000 Scovilles, right?
Hmm.
And as you eat them, he asks you questions. It gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Um, I eat that last bottle, the last dab. It's good. It's hot. It is hot, but it's good. Um, you got to be in the mood sometimes to eat really really spicy stuff.
Yeah.
The hottest, and I love Indian food. I love Thai food. I love Greek food. I love Italian food. I'm a food lover. Um, but the hottest shit I ever had at any restaurant I've been to was an Indian restaurant. It's called Nawab's. It's down here in Roanoke, right? So Talon, I walk up in there, and I've been there many times, and I'm like, let me get the tiki marsala, right, with the garlic naan bread, blah blah blah. I said, but this time I want the spice 5 out of 5, and I usually get a 4 out of 5. And I said,
Hmm.
but this time I want you to give me that special hot sauce you guys make in the back for everyone. Not the normal stuff you serve. I want the real hot stuff you guys make. And he looked at me. He's like, "Are you sure, buddy? I absolutely bring it." So he walks over there, and I notice he tells the two ladies over there, and they're all looking at me, and they're pointing at me, right? And he's like, "Yeah, that's him right there, right?" So they bring out this meal. I get about 6 bites into it, and all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, there's something seriously wrong here, right? It's like I hurt so bad that it hurt to chew, it hurt to breathe. But
No.
I finished my plate because I was not
Damn.
going to give up. I was determined. I'm sweating. Yeah, I was going through it. Since then, I go back. He looks at me. He's the first thing he said was like, "I'm proud of you." And I was like, for what? He's like, you didn't give up and you actually ate it. I was like, yeah, it wasn't so good the next couple of days, but it was good, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, what spice you want to do today? I said, oh, let's just kick it down to a 3 today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going down that path. But the hottest shit I ever ate in my life, my couple of my friends know I really like spice, so they're always the one chip challenge and all this shit, right? I'm like, yeah, okay, boom.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy brought me some. It's called the Death Nut. It was 6 peanuts, and they were 13 million Scoville each. And you had to eat all 6 and not drink nothing for 5 minutes. It was the worst thing I ever did. Won't do it again.
Sure.
It was also the highest I've ever been in my life. Like, it was weird. I felt this euphoria I've never felt before. And it was like I went numb and I thought I was okay. But then it felt like Talon, you took my tongue, you pulled it out, you took an ice pick and you just picked it, you rubbed Vaseline, poured gasoline on it, lit it on fire, and just let it go back in. And it just went everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It messed my taste buds up for over 2 weeks. Like I couldn't, all this, it just messed up. It
Yep.
didn't hurt to eat. I just couldn't really taste anything.
Yep.
Um, and I've never used ice cream sandwiches in that way before. It was an experience, dude. I don't recommend it. I mean, if you really want to try it, I'm with you, Talon. Like I'll get them for you and send them to you and watch you.
Yep.
It's yeah.
It sounds like a trip.
Oh, it was a trip, all right. It was a couple trips for sure. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
was good. Bro, yeah, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, dude, this has been a lot of fun. We're going to wrap this up here in a minute. We'll give all the shout outs. You just stay on with me for a brief second. We'll go ahead and schedule the part 2. But
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask you one last question
Mm-hmm.
before you get off here, before we end this podcast, do all that good stuff. Is if you could travel back to any time and era, where would you travel back to?
Like any era?
Any era.
Probably the 80s.
That's not traveling that far back, bro. That's like 40 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, 80. Yeah, I mean, I was a baby in the 80s, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it looked like it was a fun time.
it's looking back on the way people viewed the world versus the way people view the world now is completely different, right?
Right. Right.
What was okay back then is not okay now. What was not okay back then is okay now. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's just part of living and growing, and I tell everybody this, man. For me, the best way to do it is I consider myself a little jellyfish, bro. I'm a jellyfish, uh, happy as hell, nothing but love and positive energy, just riding the waves wherever the waves go. I'm just happy and just smiling, and let's just go, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to really work on myself on trying not to control what I can't control, right? I think
Right.
we're all guilty of that on some type of level. It's hard to get it out of our head, and we just want to kind of, I guess, feel empowered in a certain type of way, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But once I changed my mindset and I really started to, it's just like anything, you got to work on yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once I learned to, and I'm still learning to do it, okay? Just let the stuff go you have no control over. If it's meant to be, it'll be, and just smile and keep one foot in front of the other. So
Right.
yeah, man,
Exactly. That's all you can do.
that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
there's times where you just, yeah, I guess you get in that deep rut and you just can't figure your way out of that corner, through that corner super fast and get that good
Yep.
feeling, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, man, it's awesome. Well, listen, dude, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm gonna say it one more time, dude, bro. Everything you want to achieve, I hope you achieve it 8 times over. I'm a fan, and I can't wait to follow your season, not just this season, but many seasons to come in the future. And it's an honor to have you on the podcast today, and it's more of an honor to call you friend in this short lifetime. So yeah,
Heck yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate
absolutely.
you having me on. Definitely it's definitely really cool and I'm looking forward to getting on again
Oh,
and
dude,
watching you grow.
thank you, man. I
Hmm.
check it out. I don't. You should be able to do that on your screen too. Look at that with all the heart. There's other things you could do too. Like I
Yeah,
did. I
it
did
works.
balloons. Yeah. See, I did balloons the other day. I was like, how? I guess I
That's
gotta
kind of
learn
cool.
dude, the sign language, right? And also, dude, so when we come on here next time, there's this thing I can do on here where I can actually go to like your YouTube channel and pull up races as we're doing the podcast live and bring up
Oh,
your
really?
videos and all that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But listen, I'm gonna give all my shout outs and then the floor is all yours. You can tell everybody where they can find you at. But first thing I just want to say is thanks for everybody that watches the podcast. If you guys and girls have not had the opportunity, uh, go hit that bell. Do me a favor and hit that bell. It helps me out a lot. Um, it's an honor to be able to do this. Without all my friends coming on the podcast, such as you, Talon, I would not be able to do this. So again, so much. Big shout out to Next Level Financial for all your financial needs. BisonTrack.com, people, for that full custom suit. It is 2025. Take that off the rack suit you got, make a purse, make a backpack, make a keychain, do something with it, give it to your friends, whatever it is, get you a custom suit. You deserve it. Love yourself. Trust me. BisonTrack.com. Big shout outs to my man, Chef Eats. My buddy out here, he's in Georgia. He has a company called Chef Eats. He sponsors a lot of racers in road racing. His meals are absolutely amazing. You know, for something you could stick in a microwave for 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, you think, you know, most times you stick something in a microwave, it's like, oh, it's chewy. I feel like I can blow a bubble with it, right? His food is absolutely amazing. He makes athlete meals. You know, you can get with no season, do just all kinds of stuff. So big shout out to Chef Eats. You guys can use the discount code Pin the Gas and get you some off your purchase. And dude, for what you pay for 11 meals, like without any discount, it's $100 for 11 meals. You can't even make 3 of those meals for $100. Shit, probably not even 2. So, and he's got steak and chicken and pork chops. And
Ooh.
dude, dude, bro, they're so good, man. Another one of my really good friends and a good buddy of mine is Martin at the Clothing Kings. You guys can go to clothingkings.co.uk and get all your Pin the Gas merch out there in the UK. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to my man Eric at Superbike Supply. Hashtag Do It for Dad. If you guys missed that podcast, I had him on last night. It is out everywhere right now. Please go and have a listen and enjoy. It was absolutely an amazing journey through his career. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP and my buddy Julian Carrera. He's got a fan club going now, Club 40. So please go sign up, show him all the love and support. He races in the British Talent Cup. The season's approaching pretty fast. So let's go, Juju. Big shout out to Vet2 Track. My buddy Jim Whitman. He is a veteran. He's also does track days and stuff, but what he does is he'll take vets and brings them to the racetrack. His whole motto is battling PTSD one lap at a time, which is absolutely amazing program. So if you have any vet friends out there, or you know any vet friends, send them to Vet2 Track. It's absolutely amazing. Big shout out to Flying Eyes Optics for all your sunglass needs. You guys can use the discount code Pin the Gas. 64-degree racing, my man Tate. You know, do you guys wear an undersuit in motocross racing?
Nope.
Okay. At road racing, we wear an undersuit. It helps us get in and out of the suit, right? For
Oh,
one,
yeah.
and it has all kinds of benefits. But my suggestion is don't show up to the track with just one undersuit. Matter of fact, bring more undersuits than you do underwear. Trust me, right? You don't want to be that guy or girl. Bring one undersuit to the track day, especially if you're doing a couple days and walk around the paddock. As soon as you come up to somebody, they're gonna be
Yeah. Yep.
straight and not even be shy about it. Be like, "When's the last time you took a shower?" Oh my god! So listen, big shout out to 64-degree racing, my man Tate. He sent me a custom 2-piece undersuit. It is. Let me get my finger. There it is. It's right there. It's dude. I got Bison undersuit, 64-degree racing. Big shout out to my girl Aliki at Venom Undersuits. Again, an amazing product. Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work, man. My buddy Chris Paris, he's a legend in road racing. He also makes custom body works. Trust me, people in road racing world, they know exactly who Ghetto Customs is. If you are in the state of Pennsylvania, look no further than Carnes Performance. Any dealership in Pennsylvania, you got to go to Carnes Performance, whether it's a dirt bike, crotch rocket, well, ATV, UTV, whatever it is, look no further than Carnes Performance. Big shout out to KYT Americas. If you're not wearing a KYT helmet, I don't know what you're wearing. What do you currently wear helmet wise?
I wear an Alpine Star helmet.
Okay, okay, I got you. The top of the line was what the Tech 10.
Oh, that's boot.
Oh,
I do wear Tech 10 boots. Yep. So we're up at our Tech 10 boots, and for helmet I
the
wear an
SMX.
SM5.
Oh, SM5. Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, yeah. I knew it was something like that. Uh, if you're not racing on K-Tech suspension, I don't know what you people are doing, right? So big shout out to K-Tech. My friends Birch, Kendall, and Dakar, if you guys are in Moto America at a club event and they're there, there's some of the most amazing people you ever get to meet in your life, and they're, dude, phenomenal. Trust me, you want to get on K-Tech suspension. If you're in North Carolina, look no further than RTR, Ready to Race. Big shout out to them. If you're in the state of Virginia, which I am, look no further than Coleman Power Sports. If you guys ever wanted to do a track day on a MotoGP circuit, look no further than McLeo Escapes Tracks and Tours, a buddy of mine that yeah, you get on a plane, you fly to a country, you get on that MotoGP track. Not only that, you go to hotels. It's a 10-day tour. You travel the countryside and eat authentic food. It's an amazing journey. So you guys sign up and take it. Big shout out to Road Racing World. I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com. Motocross has them too, where air fences, right? It's imperative that we have them on our trucks. If we don't have them, we're not going racing. So I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com, go to the air fence, donate. If it's $1, $5, $10, whatever it is, it helps us out. And thank you so much. And for those that are going to be at a Moto America live event, if you're going to be there in person, you can actually donate. He owns an M4 Suzuki team. They do a donation there too, and he offers a 2-up ride, Talon, where I forget what the minimum donation is. I think it's $350, $400, but you donate to the air fence, you get a 2-up ride with Chris Ulrich around the racetrack. You think you're fast? Just bring an extra pair of underwear when you get off the back of this bike, because you're going to need to change them. Again, big slice of humble pie you get ready to take on the back of this bike. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so big shout out to Road Racing World. Big shout out to STG, Brian Van, and Max Van. Congratulations, Max Van, for racing for M4 Suzuki this year. Let's freaking go. Big shout out to my man Chris at Drippin' Wet for all your graphics. Gus Rodeo, GRG Graphics, which is Gus Rodeo Graphics. I got a couple friends that make graphic kits for motocross and vans and cars and street bikes and helmets and all that good stuff. Big shout out to V121Pro.com. That's where you guys can go, and girls, if you're over there in the UK, you can get coaching by the legend Mike the Spike Edwards. He's a 6-time BSB champ. He's an absolute legend. Super proper, mega nice guy. I've had him on the podcast twice so far. If you guys missed it, go back and listen to it. You want to learn how to be fast out there? Listen, coaching in road racing, man, having a coach and spending your money on coaching, man, makes such a huge difference. I'm such a fan of it, right? I'd
Yep.
rather see somebody go out there, talent, and spend money on getting proper coaching instead of buying a $6,000 exhaust. It's not going to make you any faster. You might sound cool, but you're not still fast, right? But what
Mm-hmm.
will make you faster is getting that proper coaching, right?
Yep.
So big shout out to him. Big shout out to BTR, Bill Train Race, which is Royal Enfield here in Moto America. Their program is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to meet everybody and see everybody at VIR this year, which is Virginia International Raceway here in Virginia. Big shout out to my man Antley Terry at Racer411 and tippingracing.com. Big shout out to California Superbike School in the UK, Moto Mutt International. Big shout out to my man Cole King, which is a flat track legend. He's transformed into road racing. He was king of the baggers. Now he's with the Super Hooligan class, which is absolutely amazing. But he has a shop, King Performance. So big shout out for King Performance if anybody needs any work done where he lives at. Big shout out to SCMRC out there in Texas. They have a program where they're getting into track days and racing and just doing things different, and I love it. It's great for our sports. You guys go to the website, SCMRC. I don't know why it's a tongue twister for me to say that. That's why I say it slow. Big shout out to Turn 12, and last but not least, BTI Photos, and big shout out to my man Obsession Engineering out there in the UK. So listen, Talon, dude, I feel like I just took 5 minutes to give all the shout outs to my friends. And listen, all these people I just talked about, they are my personal friends that are in the industry. You're not going to go wrong by ordering anything from any one of these guys and girls, okay? By ordering parts from them or bikes or whatever it is, food, whatever it is, undersuits, man, it helps our sport grow. It helps that company grow. It helps us all in our beautiful circus. So, yeah, you'll be just fine ordering anything from any of them. If you guys have any questions or girls, hit me up on all my socials. pretty easy to find. So, Talon, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can show all the love and support. Do you have like merch for sale that people can actually buy from you too?
I don't have merch. No, that's something I was thinking about getting into. So that might be something that I get into eventually. But yeah, no merch. You can find me on Instagram at Talan Hansen 328, LinkedIn, and I did start a YouTube, so I'm on there too.
What's
So
the
yeah.
channel called?
Oh boy.
He's like, way to put me on a spot,
Probably
Simcoe.
my name. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, that you can find me there. I'm not too active on Facebook, but um
I found Talon on LinkedIn. I seen him. I've been checking out your channel, LinkedIn, right? Channel
mhm.
or whatever. I'm used to Facebook and Instagram and all that, but been checking you out and was like, you know what? I don't have to just stick to road racing. Why not reach out to the legends of the motocross world? And was like, Talon, I'm Simcoe. Would love to have you on the podcast. And boom, here we are. So yeah, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to sit down with the legend Talan Hansen. Please go follow him on all his social medias. He's an absolute legend in the dirt bike world. He'll be on the Trump this season with Joel Hillier. So it's gonna be a proper mega season, man. Is there certain areas where we can actually go and watch the races or watch like reruns or highlight reels or anything?
Yeah, so for Canadian Nationals it's on Ride. It's an app you can get. It's called Ride TV. So you can go on there. They got all the races, I think all the way back to 2018 even is on there.
Right. Is that RYDE or RIDE?
It's RYDE.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I'm just
So
writing it down so I can download it so I can start watching it. Right TV. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what he just said. Instead of listening to us, you can go back and rewatch this podcast as soon as I end it on YouTube and my Facebook. It'll be out everywhere. I will tag talent in it and put it out on all the socials. So stay tuned. If you guys missed it, no worries. You can go back and immediately rewatch it on YouTube right now. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much and girls for watching on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I hope the rest of your weekend is as proper mega as each and every single one of you. Also, real quick, it's MotoGP race season. The first race is this weekend. Let's freaking go. I can't wait. We are back. And I also have a fantasy league. You guys can go to MotoGP.com. Join up for the fantasy league. It's free. Of course, you already know what I'm going to say. It's Pin the Gas podcast. I got like 40 something players in there, and I do a giveaway. Even if I was to win, second place is the winner because I'm not going to give myself something that I already got, right? So I give away for first, second, and third place. So, and I'm still waiting on the winners from last year to hit me up on my socials so I can send you guys your prizes. I'm not going to tell you what they are. That's part of the surprise, right? But yeah, you guys should go check it out. It's free. You pick 4 racers, a manufacturer, and yeah, obviously you accumulate points, and whoever gets the most points at the end of the year wins. So let's freaking go, people, right? Dude, Talent, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an
no problem.
absolute honor, and I can't wait to sit back there. Dude, we did 2 hours. We're hour
Yeah.
and 58 minutes in this, but dude, bro, just down with me real quick. I'm gonna end this podcast. You guys be good. I'll see you guys soon. All right, let me end this.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.